This my generation.
First impression, UOPN.
Welcome back to part 2 of my boho basement transformation. Why am I doing this? I don't know. I'm gonna stop. Hi world, Jenny here. I am really excited to get this project done. Hopefully I can finish it in the next few weeks. But if you are interested in seeing part 1, where I did this wall, I will link it right here. I show you how I do my DIY hand stenciled wallpaper. But this is pretty much what I'm going for in this room. A lot of DIY, texture, personality, colors, but I also am trying to keep it a little bit simplistic, if that makes any sense at all. Hopefully it all comes together and will make sense soon. Happy New Year! I hope you guys enjoyed your holidays. Thanks so much for coming back. Welcome to part 2. Let's get right into it. Here's a quick paint prep hack that I did on this wall that you can use if you're wanting to fill in any small holes from nails. I couldn't find any spackle in my house, so I used a candle. Sounds weird, but it works. Any candlestick or votive like this will fill in these little holes seamlessly. What you're gonna wanna do is just grab it like a crayon and basically fill it in like you're coloring. It may take a little bit of hand grease, but it's a lot quicker, no dry time for using spackle, no sanding and dust. And as you can see here, you won't even be able to tell there was anything there in the first place. If you watched my part 1 video of painting, you'll know why I'm using this tiny roller. And I did use the same paint. I ended up painting both of these walls for under $18. I did get 2 of those small $9 cans of white paint, but I didn't even use the entire 2 cans. So that is something to keep in mind if you're really wanting to paint a room in your house. It is possible to do it on a budget without breaking the bank on really expensive paints. As long as it's not like a kitchen or a bathroom or something that's gonna be exposed to a lot of moisture or people's hands, then I would suggest upgrading your paint, of course, for better durability. In my experience, using an inexpensive paint has worked well for me as long as you do a good job painting. It is a living room wall that's gonna have decorations on it anyway, and no one has ever asked me where I get my paint from. As long as it looks pretty, I'm happy. Okay, now for the fun part. On Black Wednesday, I went to Joann Fabrics, and guys, their sales were so good, and they always have coupons. Fabric can get so expensive, so always be sure to look up a coupon on their website to save some moolah. We'll get back to the fabric in a second, but this picture frame sale, guys, is what I took advantage of. I knew I wanted 9 of these frames, and I was originally gonna go with this type of frame here. I will put a picture of what I'm going for, but I decided on a more simplistic vibe. These were a little bit less expensive as well, and since I was getting 9 of them, I ended up getting them for $5 each, so it was definitely worth it. So this is sort of a little DIY that I did for this wall because I didn't want to pay $50 and up for printing out my photos. So what I did was I bought some shiny computer paper on Amazon. I will link that in the description. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a glossy look to it, and I did want a dark, moody, artsy vibe, which is why I was content with the look that I got from printing it on a computer rather than as clear as it would have been just getting it printed at like Walgreens or something. I saved so much money and got the look I was going for, and no one would have ever known if I hadn't said anything that these were paper. As I mentioned in my previous video, I hate finding studs and I hate hanging things. So to make it easier on yourself, use some toothpaste. Sounds weird, but what you're basically gonna do is I put the picture in upside down. Who knows how many of these I did upside down. Oh man. Well, you're gonna wanna put your pictures in the right way first. So basically what you're gonna do with your toothpaste once you have your pictures in the right way is dab the little spot where you want the nail to hang. So it is easier to see if you have like blue or red toothpaste. but this is gonna work. So then, this really bothers me. Find the spot where you want your picture to hang, press it up against the wall. And when you take it down, the toothpaste has marked the spot. Dab it and you've got all of your marks on the wall. There's a lot going on this wall. I am very picky when it comes to uneven lines, different distances between things, and minuscule spacing issues. We kind of are using the toothpaste tag at this point, but we're also doing a lot of measuring, so keep that in mind. Just scratch myself in the face. Nice, it's gonna look so good. You done? We got 3 more to go. This is where my beautiful new fabrics come into play. My grandma gave me these chairs, and instead of throwing them out because I wasn't feeling the beige anymore, I am going to reupholster them. I got this really handy dandy staple gun on Amazon. It's a really nice one, so if you are in need of one or interested, I will link it in the description below. But just to keep things simple, I took the chairs apart and reupholstered them with this new fabric. Measurements that I used for these chairs for the fabric was 1.5 yards. I have upholstered chairs in the past that were about the same size, so I figured it would be about the same amount of material that I needed, but I was slightly wrong. Of course, it's common sense, just make sure you measure your chair and your fabric. It turned out fine, but I could have done with a little bit more. Oh my god, it's gonna look so good! And it's just gonna be what it is. You gotta work with it. You gotta get done, people.
She's closing up. Come to visit me. She said that she the loneliest and it's hard to open up.
Just a little detail I wanted to point out to you, that if you are looking for material with a pattern on it to upholster any furniture in your house, this one had really straight lines, and it made it really easy to go along with those lines as a guide for cutting and keeping everything really straight and lined up.
And it's hard to open up.
That staple gun really gave me a blister on my hand, so I don't want to use it anymore. Finishing off my project with some hot glue because my hand needs a break. Be nice to yourself. All right, let's see. Let's see her. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the back of the chair really quick so that you see the situation. Like I said, I didn't have enough fabric to do this properly, and I want to get it done, so this is a situation that I personally am okay with. I would suggest fabric glue for something like this, but I do not have fabric glue, so I'm using a glue gun, and it's working well for what I need it to do right now. If something happens, I can always repair it, but that is the beauty of DIY projects, is that they are much more affordable. Rather than buying new chairs that would cost me $200 to $300 that I don't have right now. This is not even going to be seen. Nobody is going to ask. I mean, if they do ask, who's gonna care? Not me, because it looks beautiful, and that's all that matters. While I still had my staple gun out, I went ahead and took the total of 3 minutes it took to upholster this little stool that I found at a thrift store. I then went on Amazon and purchased a little piece of faux fur to cover the stool in. It turned out to be a perfect size that I could just throw it on the stool without any cutting or measuring, so it worked out perfectly. For any little stool, it was a really cheap and easy upgrade to make the room look even more cozy. The stool cost me $4.50 at the thrift store, and the Amazon faux fur, I will link that down below for you as well. So that is all I'm going to show you in this video for the DIYs that I did for this section of the basement, even though there's more. Keep your eyes peeled. My next video, part 3, is going to focus on some major DIYs for this basement. Somehow, in the middle of the night, I made this lamp go from this to this. This is one of my favorite DIYs I've ever done in my entire life, but I was so proud of myself, I almost cried. It's so beautiful. Once again, we shopped our home for more decorations for the space of the room. My record player now has a new place in our house, and this plant hanger is now giving my plant babies a new home as well. It was a steal at a thrift store for $13. So, my last video, while I was filming, Amazon knocked on the door and delivered a package. And this was part of the package. And I have refrained from opening it until today because I really wanted to be surprised. This is going to tie in all of the colors from the other side of the room that I'm trying to bring over here. So I'm hoping that we love it and that it's a good color red and extra little pops of color to fit into this area. All right, moment of truth. That was very anticlimactic. Okay, do we like it? Do you like it? It's smaller than I thought, but that's good. Ooh, ooh la la, I think I like it now that I put it out here. Okay, it's darker than I thought. I thought it was gonna be more rust. Does it feel boho? That's a wrap for part 2. There's a lot more to get done on that side of the room, but let's not look over there right now. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like this video if you want to. I'm not gonna tell you to. You know what to do if you want. I'm not gonna beg, but I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.